What's up, guys? It's your boy Zowoki back out with another Chris Watts video. And by popular demand and you guys asking, we're looking into the Chris Watts February interview, his second confession, because the first one I don't believe was the right thing. Because one, he blames Shanann. Two, he doesn't take responsibility for the girls' deaths. He pretty much blames Shanann, and I just don't believe it for at all. We will look at that one eventually, but you guys have asked for. But this one I feel is a little bit closer to the truth. But again, I don't think it's 100% the truth. Maybe, hopefully, maybe someday we'll get a third confession. Who knows? I'm not putting any money on it because this guy is probably just going to die in prison without us even knowing anything. But you guys have been asking for it. We're going to look into Chris Watts' February interview over the course of like 3 to 4, maybe 5 different parts. But again, you guys wanted it, and I'm happy to oblige. But before we go any further, if you guys could do me a solid favor and subscribe to my YouTube channel by hitting that white bar icon down at the bottom right. Hit that bell icon next to it. So when I do post videos like this one, you guys will get that little ring notification that Zowoki myself has posted that video. And then you guys can watch, comment, like, and share. And I thank you guys again so very much. We will be using CDT's video. She did a decoding of Chris Watts' video. But I just wanted to let you guys know, if you would love to go to her channel or watch without me, link is in the description. Go over to her channel, give her some love, subscribe, comment, like, and share. And with that being said, let's get into the video.
Dave talked to you. We're all in Colorado. And so the last time we talked to you, it was a different situation, right? Our investigation was open and your case was open. That's completely different now. So your case is completely closed. Nothing about what we're going to talk about today has anything to do with an open investigation. So we're not here to get more charges on you or get any.
Does it matter if we get more charges on him? The man is in 3 consecutive life sentences, and then I think there's, what is it, 45 or 55 years upon that. He's never getting out.
Statements from you that are going to jam you up anymore, right? That's all done. So all of our cases are closed, and the court case is closed. So there's nothing that we're going to talk about today that's going to get you in any type of more trouble at all. And so I wanted to make sure you knew that's not why we're here. Okay. But why we are here.
So yeah, they just told Chris, like, they want to make sure he knows they're not here to get him in any more trouble.
So there's a little bit of discrepancy in this instant, because I think they went there to find information about NK, about her possible involvement, or what she was doing there on the morning of the murders, or her whatever have. But some people are like, that's not why she went here, or that's not what they went there for. Like, why would they need to go there for a second confession when looking into NK would be more of a significant reason why they're there? What do you guys think? Let me know down in the comments.
Or anything like that. Like, feel comfortable to talk to us. You're not here for we're not here to get you in any more trouble. Well, you know, he already serving a life sentence. I don't really know what else.
Yeah, what more can you give him?
Could do.
More of a.
So the 3 of us work in 3 different agencies, right? Quite a bit different. CBI, FBI, and Frederick PD. Different goals.
Oh.
The things that happened with you kind of all brought us together. And as the months have passed on since everything happened, we just keep in touch with each other and we keep talking to each other. And we've all separately kind of said, did Chris seem unique to you? And me and Tammy have talked about this, Dave and I have talked about this. Did Chris's situation seem different to you? And we keep having that conversation. We can't quite put our finger on it, right? We think that your life leading up to all of the things that happened were very interesting to us. And for me personally, I don't know if you remember, but one of the last things you told me was, hey, Grant.
So right there, that stands out to me. Like Coder mentioned, they are all 3 from different agencies. They all 3, you know, after Chris was arrested, started thinking, like, Chris just doesn't seem like every other murderer You know, not that they all can be the same, of course not.
He's a
But for
sleeping
3 people, after this man has
murderer.
pled guilty and confessed to killing his pregnant wife and 2 children, they all still, in my opinion, sound like they're kind of scratching their heads.
They
Like,
don't get
there's
it.
something unique here that, we want to know about. And that, in my opinion, could be why they're back questioning him. They just don't know all the answers they want to know.
I'm sorry that I started lying to you. And that's stuck with me for the last couple months. It's been ringing in my head, right? I've never, ever worked a case like this where someone told me that, ever. And so as I walked away, I thought, Chris is different. Chris is a little bit unique in that regard. So in talking with Tammy and talking with Dave, I said, what did you feel like when it all went down? When we were there, when we were talking to you guys, and we all kind of, in our own different way and in our own different wording, said it all happened a bit too quick for us, right? So when we
Well, you can blame D.A. Rourke for that one.
saw you last, we were talking and talking and talking about your family, about your parents, about everyone.
So did you catch that? They asked, how did you feel after everything went down? And they all agreed. It happened a bit too quickly. He can.
It was done in days. From his confession to locking him up to releasing the crime scene, and then pretty much waiting for trial in November. It went so fast. I have never seen a case go that fast. If you guys have found a different case that went that fast, please let me know. Because this one, a quadruple homicide going that fast, it was unheard of.
Confess, and the next thing we know, there's a police officer arresting him. And I would like to read the quote from Tammy Lee that she stated on the Oxygen documentary. She said, "Whoa, wait, like we're not done. We have all these things to do. We didn't examine all of the evidence. We didn't interview every witness we needed to.
And yet the Shanann haters want to sit there and say that the police went through all the evidence. No, they effing didn't. They didn't go through everything. They collected quite a bit, but there was more to be had. So I want to say words to these haters, but I'm watching myself because of YouTube guidelines.
We didn't do all of the things that you would do in a normal investigation because he stopped the clock. We were relieved that it was going to be over, but at the same time, we felt like, in a sense, we didn't finish." That is a direct quote from Tammy Lee, who worked the case. So that's, again, her and Coder.
Everything was put in a box. Everything was sealed up. Everything was put away into an evidence locker and pretty much locked with a key and never looked at it again. Pretty much.
Verbally stating they felt it all wrapped too quickly and they didn't have time to
Do their job.
thoroughly complete this investigation because he pled guilty and the DA, took that plea and that confession and brought it to sentencing, and the case was over.
And then the next thing you know, for me and Tammy and for Dave, all of a sudden some patrol officers came in and arrested you. And that was far quicker than we had hoped it would happen. And you understand why that happened, and we understand why that happened, but it left us with 1,000 questions that we didn't get to ask. And then even more importantly, I think it probably left you with 1,000 things that you didn't get to talk about with us. I don't know if you feel that way or not, but, and so that's why we're here today. We wanted to kind of talk to you a little bit more about everything.
Your mistress?
I think there's a lot of things that you didn't get to talk about. And so, that's why we're here.
I feel as though Tammy and the other guy are tiptoeing around their questions to not expose why they're really there. Because it just doesn't seem like they're it's not necessarily that they're not prepared, but they just seem like they're on stepping stones when asking him certain questions.
And it sticks with me that to this day, there's not one person that's told me, I saw it coming. I knew Chris was like that. I knew it. Not one person. So it's just, it's interesting to me, right?
I really wish this was on video. I so wish this was on video.
No, not one. So we want to talk a little bit about that. Some of the people that we work with, your family, Shanann's family, have said, you know, if you get to talk to Chris, would you tell him some things for me? So we have that to talk about today, and it's good. I think you'll like it. I think it will give you some closure. And so really that's why we're here.
Why would he need closure? Or is it closure for the loved ones of the deceased? I'm guessing.
Are you available to talk to us?
Definitely.
Okay. All right. So off the bat, if you have any questions, just tell us.
Okay.
If there's something that you don't want to talk about, that's okay. We might press you a little bit. Okay, we might say, well, do you mind if we just maybe then ask one question? If something makes you uncomfortable, just tell us. If we need to take any bathroom breaks, we do take bathroom breaks. You know, for anything like that. And we'll take bathroom breaks and water breaks ourselves too. So then, is there anything about your schedule today that makes it that you can't talk to us?
No, there was like a pass for this and the AM and the PM.
Okay.
I was saying, his schedule is pretty much wide open with nothing to do.
Yeah, they reserve the room the whole day,
Oh,
just in
okay.
case.
That's just what they do.
Okay. I didn't know if that was like two separate things or something.
I think you have to go back for lunch to get counted for or something.
Oh.
Accounted for.
Yeah, I think
11:30.
Lunch is like 11, but they count for like 12:15.
Yeah, this whole thing is like 4 hour, almost 5 hours. So that's why I said there's gonna be about 4 or 5, maybe 6.
So in general, how is it here?
It's a lot different in Colorado.
Is it?
It's
Good or bad?
It's better, I think, because I mean, it's here. I'm actually around other people. I mean, in Colorado, it was just like I was segregated, and it was like pounding on the walls all night, screaming, and just you know, just telling me
From other people?
Oh,
Really?
they're just telling me like how I should kill myself and like what they're gonna do to me, and just like all that kind of stuff. So like, it was today. This is a lot different because I mean, people here don't seem to. It's not like they don't care, but it's just kind of like they don't like judge you as soon as you walk in. In Colorado, it was like they knew why I was there, and that was it. They were just like they had 1 second alone with me, it would have been
Really?
they would,
Gee, man.
This man still thinks he's a dad. He's not a dad. He lost that title when he took their innocence away and took their lives away.
Must be out then.
out of like what kind of jail. I don't know what it was like in DOC there, but like, they had to lock down the jail for me to walk down the hallway.
Wow. It will? Mm-hmm. So they had to make sure you were completely separated from anyone else. Mm-hmm. Jeez.
Wow.
Like I didn't see anybody else there. Like I was in the cell next to somebody, but like I never saw them.
You just hear them.
How do they know who you were?
I don't know. I just they make phone calls in there too.
Oh, okay.
And they got the newspaper in there before I got in there. So.
Dang!
How?
So you're telling me the prisoners knew about you before you even showed up? Dang.
Have you been able to talk with family
Oh,
members?
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Like we get from 6 p.m. to 7:30. That's our my unit's timeout. So we get to use the phone at that point in time.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So he can use the phone, it sounds like, from 6 p.m. to 7:30, so about an hour and a half. And I bet, he's talking to people. I bet he's, we do know he talks to his parents and his sister. Obviously, he spoke to Sherilyn Cadle, who wrote a book. So, I don't think Chris has...
So he gets to do all that stuff, and his family gets to talk to him, but the Ruseks don't get to talk to their loved ones.
Any lack of communication with the outside world. He's talking to people and staying in the loop.
And he's watching football.
Oh, it's just like that's like 6 years.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And how do you make money to pay for that?
They put money on the phone.
Oh.
So if I call, like if I was like to dial somebody's number, they have to have like a phone account set up.
Oh.
Just like restricted.
And then so who you call pays for it?
Yes.
Oh. Okay. Have you been able to talk to like family members and parents and all
Yeah,
that?
mom, dad, and sister.
Okay. Good. Is that a good thing?
That's a good thing. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, they feel
must
here,
be.
and they're like, what's wrong? What's going
Oh,
on?
good. And how's it been?
And so far, so good.
Yeah. Yeah. It was hard to hear your parents at sentencing.
Yeah.
I didn't know what they were gonna say. So,
Yeah. And so, yeah, I really appreciate what they said. I don't know about you.
I definitely was. I didn't expect them to be there. So I know they were there on the 6th, on November 6th, but I didn't expect them to fly back, and they wanted to fly back for that.
Yeah. And then I'll be mom said.
Definitely.
Good. Well, so we have 1,000 questions. I'm sure you do too. Do you care if we start, or do you have any questions for us?
Go ahead. We'll start.
All right. So one of the things that we're battling with is, and I won't make any assumptions today. So, are you aware that this was a national story?
After a little while, it was. I didn't talk to my parents while I was in Colorado.
Okay.
Because, I mean, my attorney team.
This ain't national. This is worldwide. Like national, yeah, okay. It went from side to side of the United States, but it went global.
Told me, all right, no phone calls, no letters, no nothing. Okay. So like I made one phone call when I was in the segregation area there, but my dad thought it was like somebody somebody trying to call.
So he didn't answer.
Yeah, so he didn't answer. But other than that,
okay,
I didn't talk to anybody. But from what some of the deputies were saying, that or my attorney team coming in and saying, this is like they've got people from Australia, England, and all kinds of people trying to figure out what's going on. So.
Did they send you any of the letters, like fan mail or anything? Well,
I got letters, but I couldn't keep them with me, so like I could read them like an hour out. But it's like I got a bunch of just letters that had no return address and stuff that was just not very good letters.
Yeah. So, okay. They came from a weird perspective, didn't they? From what we have heard.
Definitely, there was one person I guess from Broomfield that was like writing like 4 times a week trying to come visit me, and then there was just a lot of people like writing notes like bleed through markers saying like you're a monster, all kinds of stuff.
So we know that the hate mail is getting to him. Yes.
Well, we're going to talk about some hard issues today, but I don't intend to take you to a dark place today.
Okay.
I hope that when we're done, you'll feel
No, because he's already been to that dark place.
better. I hope it'll be therapeutic. We're going to talk about, obviously, what happened with your family, and so that's going to be hard to talk about. I appreciate anything you can tell me about it. If you need to take time out, if you need to get a tissue, that's fine, right? I think it'll be very good for you. It'll be good for us. And so one of the reasons I asked about that national attention is we were aware that you were getting a lot of letters, a lot of interest, and then us personally as law enforcement, we got so many people who claim to have.
And the reason why they're being so nice to him, it's so that he thinks that they're on kind of his side, almost like buddy. So he's willing to talk more. If they sat there and locked him up with shackles and said, you're going to tell us what happened and you're going to like it, and then slap him in the face, you think he's going to say something? Yeah, probably not.
Claim to have been with you, dated you, slept with you, and 99 times out of 100 they were just crazy people, right? And so maybe that's a good place to start. Had you heard about any of that?
John, well, she told me about some dude from Wyoming.
Yeah.
Trent?
Yeah, that guy.
Okay, now here they're going to talk about Trent Bolt. Trent Bolt is a man who claimed to have a 10-month affair with Chris Watts.
No.
There is a video I will link down below.
Chris is an idiot, but he's not that kind of way. I'm trying to find the words here. He's not. I just don't know the words. He's an idiot, but I just feel that he's always been the light of women. He's never shined towards, but then who knows? Because when Nicole did her her Googling how to prepare for butt stuff and threesome kind of things. And then she's got Jim on the phone a lot. Could it be that kind of way? Is that what we're going about?
From a great YouTube channel called True Crime in Colorado. They
Ooh, I haven't seen
have,
that one.
researched and done some digging, and they discovered that there very well could be a possibility that Trent Bolt and NK,
Does anybody believe this about Trey Bolton? Or there's another rumor that Trey Bolton was hired by NK to throw it off of her, but didn't really work.
mistress of Chris Watts, the confirmed mistress from Anadarko, somehow know each other. NK has ties to Wyoming and to rehabs.
What?
So again, I will link that down below. But just this, I find interesting. Trent and kind of discovered he was not telling the truth. They couldn't find, solid evidence that there was an affair between, that Chris had with Trent. So let's listen to what Chris has to say about Trent Bolt.
That blew my mind. I was like, who the hell is this guy?
And who told you about that?
Attorney John Walsh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you mind if we talk about him?
Yes.
Graham and I interviewed him.
You had to?
Yes.
Wasted our lives.
Yes.
So Trent, in summary, Trent came in and said, met you online on a dating app, had a few, casual but quick sexual encounters with you. And let me be very clear. Not only are we not here to jam you up today, we're also not here to judge you. And if there is anything like that, you can imagine we've heard way worse, way different, So if it's true, I hope that you can just casually.
If it was true, he's probably not going to tell us because he doesn't want to look bad in the eyes of the Lord, and he doesn't want to be bad or looked bad with his parents. So
would say, yeah, I mean, this happened. It wasn't as bad as he said, but maybe this happened. So his story was.
It's like that one girl that was saying that she was with Chris Watts in a Chick-fil-A parking lot.
Met online, met you, and it was a time when you were experimenting with maybe men. And so he said he met a couple times, met his friends, went to an apartment, had a couple of meetings in a parking lot, and then that was basically it.
Okay, did you catch that? Met his friends, went to an apartment. We know the mistress lived in an apartment. The mistress had friends who allegedly, Chris told Cadel, were into very dark things. Could that be the narrative that was given to Trent? Say you met him in a parking lot and he came to your apartment and hung out with some friends. We don't know.
Yeah, that sounds right. Okay.
No, I never. Okay.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, he talked about being in your truck with your girls, like the whole.
Trent talked about being in a truck with Chris Watts' girls. Was anyone else possibly in a truck with Trent? Chris's girls? Did that come from something that actually happened with another mistress? We don't know. Question.
That wasn't released until later. What? You get what I'm hearing?
Going off in my head.
Lanyards, so.
I've never even been to Wyoming, let alone driven up there to see somebody.
Yeah. And so this is maybe a weird question for you. Do you have any gay experience?
No.
Okay. Any interest?
No.
Okay. Never had a time, experimented, wondered?
No.
Okay. Is it possible that he found you instead of you finding him?
From what John told me, to find me on like a WhatsApp.
Yeah.
I don't even have that app.
Okay.
You got it on my phone, so
Okay.
you could probably saw what app I had. But I've never even heard of the app. But
Okay.
apparently, he told me I met him through a rehab center or something.
Okay.
The rehab center that the rehab center that Nicole kept Googling and calling? There's something here. There's something here. Oh,
So,
sweet baby Jesus.
Met him through a rehab center or something. We know the mistress called a rehab center
twice.
Sometime before Chris left for North Carolina, on the mistress's Venmo, a rehab center was, gave her a payment for a mountain trip or something. And again, Wyoming, the mistress has ties to Wyoming. Were they maybe in rehab together in Wyoming?
Is that what he said?
No, that was another guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Another one?
It was totally.
But then, did you catch that? I'm going to go back after I say this part. Chris says, I think, the attorney said met him in a rehab center or something. And then Tammy says, no, that was another guy. Who was this other guy that Tammy just brought up? Because the
Right?
only other people that
Could it be Jim? I don't know.
the public news have claimed the affair were Trent Bold and Amanda McMahon. Amanda is a woman. Trent is a man. So they're talking about Trent, and then Tammy chimes in and says, no, that was another guy. Who is this other guy? Let me back that up
That was a bit scary.
just a second so we can hear that again.
You might remember. He was kind of meek,
Yeah.
but also a little bit flamboyant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he did fake lips, or not fake lips, but injections.
Uh-huh.
He was very into skincare and makeup. And he mentioned that one of the times, just as a gift, you got him some skincare products.
Mm-hmm.
Does any of that sound familiar?
No.
Okay.
I say, can't you go back and see what he spent? If he actually did, if he did, he could have got it for Shanann. That wouldn't work.
You can imagine all the stuff we're dealing with. Okay, so that's one.
Mm-hmm.
Trent Bowles. There was
One.
another gal that you were dealing with.
Amanda McMahon. Have you ever heard that name?
No.
Okay. Is it possible that
Man to McMahon? What?
he found you instead of you finding him?
From what John told me, just found me on like a WhatsApp.
Yeah.
I don't even have that app.
Okay.
Never. I mean, you got it on the phone, so
Okay.
you could probably saw the app I had. But I've never even heard of the app. But
Okay.
apparently, like he told me, like I met him through like a rehab center or something.
Is that what he said?
No, that was another guy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was totally.
Yeah, so Chris says apparently told him I, met him through a rehab center or something. And then Tammy says, no, that was another guy. And then you can kind of hear Baumhalver and Coder have, So again, back to my question, who is this other guy that Tammy brought up?
No idea.
So did you see a picture of him on the news or anything?
John showed me a picture of him.
Okay.
He was like, well, this guy, and he was, John was kind of, making fun, like, do you know him? Sure. Okay, I'm like, no.
So you saw it and you were like, no way.
Yeah, it was just
Big
like-
lips, did you see his giant
Yeah,
lips?
it's just like, I have no clue who this guy is.
And he's somewhat memorable. I mean,
Yeah.
Again, he's I mean, I'd say he's laughing and stuff like when he was laughing with his girls being missing and stuff like that in the news porch.
If you met him or talked to him or got to know him, you might remember. He was kind of meek,
Yeah.
but also a little bit flamboyant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he did fake lips, or not fake lips, but injections.
Uh-huh.
He was very into skincare and makeup. And he mentioned that one of the times, just as a gift, you got him some skincare products.
Mm-hmm.
Does any of that sound familiar?
No.
Okay. You can imagine all the stuff we're dealing with. Okay, so that's one.
Mm-hmm.
Trent Bowles. There was another gal that you were dealing with.
Amanda McMahon. Have you ever heard that name? No.
John showed me a picture of her.
Okay.
Oh, you did see a picture of her too?
Yeah, he had like. Yeah, that's the same.
Truths.
Yeah,
Does that look familiar?
that's the same picture he showed me on the
Okay.
MSO. And I was looking, I was like, who's that? He's like, oh, you don't know her either?
Yeah.
I was like, no.
Okay.
He said it was like a Chick-fil-A parking lot rendezvous or something.
That's just not true.
That's what she's claiming.
Okay.
Only went to one Chick-fil-A in Colorado. That was the one in Broomfield, Highway 7.
Okay.
That was it.
Okay. Do you feel comfortable enough today to tell us if there were other people?
Yeah, it was just Nicole.
Okay. And that was it? Okay. As these people have come out, for the most part, we've not given their story.
So again, he brings up the Amanda McMahon. She is the one that claimed they met up in a
Oh,
Chick-fil-A
Amanda
parking lot
McMahon. Okay.
and then went back to her apartment or house, I'm not sure, but watched the movie Shutter Island, which is about a mother who kills her children. So, you know, I found that interesting that she happened to bring up that particular movie. And then that they had sex and that Chris was really into rough sex. But it wasn't found to be valid.
Always much credit. They're just crazy people who want attention. And so, but when that does happen, it does make us think,
What if?
you know, there may have been others. And so Nicole was the only one.
That was the only one.
Was there ever like a one-night stand with someone else just out of the blue and one and done?
No.
Okay. All right. Do you mind if we talk a little bit more about Nicole? Okay, so walk me through it, because that was one of the things we never really got to ask you about.
Right.
Ooh.
Skipped on and talked about where the girls were fed. So what happened there?
So did you catch that? Even Coder and Tammy agrees. We didn't really get to talk to you about Nicole. You know, we kind of skipped on and talked about where your wife and your girls were. In my opinion, the mistress should have been talked about more in
Amen,
August.
sister.
There were even a few times, and I'd like to make a video on that, in Chris's interviews in August, that he tried to bring up the mistress. And at one point, you know, Coder says, quote, I don't think this girl had anything to do, or I don't think this girl did anything to hurt anybody. Now,
Which there was a notebook that was a saying was circled, don't let Nicole go down. If you remember that. Maybe that was code for everybody to not look at her kind of thing.
let's get back to your wife and kids. Okay, again, in my opinion, I feel that was a little premature for Coder to just write off that the mistress had anything to do
I
with
think
it.
so too.
They didn't fully know the evidence yet when he said that. I just wish that, again, I am not saying I'm smarter than them. I am not in law enforcement, but as an outsider, in my opinion, and I have also seen many others who agree with this, I wish they had allowed Chris and they had questioned Chris more about the mistress in August. Because again, even Coder is admitting we did not question you about her during our first
They
interviews together.
should have.
And in my opinion, I think they should have. I think they possibly could have, you know, missed some things there by not questioning.
See, Zowoki haters, I'm not the only one that thinks about this.
Him right after the crime as, you know, to learn more about her via Chris.
So it was probably around June 1st or something. That's when I first met her. And it was just like a work conversation. She messed with the gas meters that, you know, we were out in the field. And I was messing up, and then, you know, I took it to her like, hey, you know, what's going on with this? Like, how do I fix it? And, you know, after that, you know, we just ran into each other a few times in the office, and I think it was probably the fourth time meeting. She had asked me, because like when we were talking back and forth, I would say, you know, like we moved here from Colorado or from North Carolina and stuff like that, and then she's like, "What's all this weed stuff you come?" Like, oh, I took out my phone and showed her a picture, like, you know, my girl's on the phone. She's like, "Oh, okay." She's like, "So," I'm like, "Yeah." Like, you know, I didn't wear a ring to work because like I sent the office to get refitted when I lost all that weight. So, but
You lost so much weight that your fingers lost weight?
yeah, it was literally like I was out in the snow one time. I went like that, and my ring went off in the rocks. So I was just like, I was panicking, trying.
So yeah, right there is where Chris admits that from the moment he started talking to the mistress, that he would say "we," and that's one thing I always do.
She
You
knew
know,
they were
I'm married
married.
and have children, and I refer a lot of times, even when my family's not with me, I use that word "we" because I'm so used to, like, it's not just me anymore going through life. It's we, as in my family unit. So I believe that Chris is telling the truth there. He was probably speaking to her, you know, conversation, using that word "we." Okay. Now, in my opinion, the mistress would have picked up on that. You
Yep.
know, was she 28, 29 years old when this happened? She's old enough to know, you know, a lot of people that age are married with kids. The "we" would most likely mean at least a
Another
significant
person.
other. And again, he also says, yeah, she asked, what's this we you're talking about? And he admits that he has a family and he's married.
She knew it.
But, so after that, she left me alone for a couple days. And she
So after that, she left me alone for a couple days. That sounds to me like the mistress was the one hounding on Chris,
Yes.
talking to Chris,
I
initiating
say
it with
that
Chris.
same thing.
By
Same
him saying
thing.
after that, she left me alone for a couple of days. To me,
Same
that's
thing.
a telling statement. He did not say after that we didn't see each other for a couple days, or, you know, I didn't talk to her for a couple days. No, he specifically said she left me alone for a couple of days. I found that interesting. Maybe you do.
Like they already were a thing, kind of thing.
Maybe you don't.
She texted me outside the field. And then after that,
She texted me outside the field.
we just kept texting back and forth. And it was just, it's like, like she was working a little rig out in North Dakota, I think. And we just kind of trading stories back and forth about what we did and everything. And then one day it just kind of went to a different level. And then I never thought I would ever go to that level. But she was talking about meeting up after we got back.
When he says one day it just kind of went to a different level, I never thought it would go to that level. I wonder what level that means. Like, did she possibly send him a nude photo? Did she, was it only just the fact, because he's about to say
That's what happened.
she talked about meeting up outside of work. Was that the different level? Like, what exactly was that different level it went to? If I had been interviewing him, that's one thing I would have said. What do you mean it went to a different level? Like, what happened that brought it to that next level?
It got hot and heavy.
From San Diego. Yeah, we go to San Diego from the 22nd to the 26th of June. And we met up after we got back, and
How did you guys meet up?
at a park in Thornton.
Park
somewhere. And after that, we just kept seeing each other pretty much the whole month of July.
So let me ask you this.
So the first time they met up was after he went to San Francisco with Shanann. And remember, Nick, the mistress was looking at
His Facebook.
picture, at Shanann's Facebook. So in my opinion, she probably saw, that trip. I mean, she knew he was going out of town with his wife, but she was ready to meet up with him when he got back. And that would be towards the end of June.
You tell me if I'm wrong. You strike me as somewhat of a shy person. So when you guys were meeting, it was just kind of very initiatory, like flirting at first? Okay. From both sides?
Yeah, it was just kind of like feeling each other out. It's kind of like,
Yeah. And so, texts, any calls?
more near the end of June,
Okay. And what makes you remember that it's June that it happened?
because we called each other before I left to go to San Diego.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay, so I'm sorry, I said San Francisco. It is San Diego. He admits they called each other before they left to go to San Diego, and that's how he remembers it was June. Now, and the mistress says she also remembers it was June when they really started talking because
I
it
don't
was around
believe it.
Father's Day.
At first, did you think something might happen?
Which she would have seen Shanann's Facebook again that read all Shanann talks so highly of Chris Watts on Father's Day. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have this life. I can't remember verbatim, but she was boosting about her husband, Chris. Nicole would have seen that. Why would she say that if they were divorcing? Kind of thing. Do you see where I'm getting at?
I just thought it was just flirting. I didn't think it was actually like something that would actually happen.
Yeah.
Because it was NK
Well, that's
that
only
probably
natural, right? I mean, everyone kind of flirts
did
at
it.
work, right? Because the relationship between men and women is different. So if you're working with a girl at work, it's just kind of natural to flirt. I get it.
I wish I was out in the field more instead of in the office those that month, but
Yeah. You kind of see it in your eyes. That's kind of where the path started, isn't it?
Okay, listen to that part and I will replay it.
Yeah, I had a hard
Chris
time.
kind of gets quiet and mumbles. Like before, he's talking about how he never really thought it would go that far. You know, he just never really saw it going as far as it did. It turned into a full blown, intimate affair, you know, all the way through the summer until the murders. So anyway, I found this interesting where Chris kind of mumbles and he says, you know, I wish I was out in the field more. You know, I wish, you know, I was just out in the field more. He's wishing, he's showing, in my opinion, regret for ever even seeing her. He wishes it didn't happen. And Coder
Shoulda, woulda, coulda there, Christopher.
says, Coder's looking at him. Again, we only have audio and a picture of Chris during the interview. We cannot see his face. Coder can. And Coder sounds sincere, in my opinion, and says, yeah, Chris, I can kind of see it in your eyes. That's where all this path started. And I agree. I think, you know, when he met her, something changed, something started, and I don't know. I'm not going to get into my whole theory. I have my theories. Some, you know.
I'd love to know her theory.
But anyways, I just found that interesting that Coder claims, yeah, I can see it in your eyes, Chris. That's where this whole path started. And later you'll hear Coder himself say, I don't think this would have happened if you hadn't met the mistress. So let me go back. I really want you to pay attention to where Chris kind of mumbles and talks about how he wishes he had been in the field so he wouldn't have been running into her. And then how Coder says that's how this whole path started. I can see it in your eyes.
Yeah. And so, texts, any calls?
More near the end of June.
Okay. And what makes you remember that it's June that it happened?
Because we called each other before I left to go to San Diego.
Oh, okay. All right. At first, did you think something might happen?
I just thought it was just flirting. I didn't think it was actually like something that would actually happen.
Yeah. Well, that's totally natural, right? I mean, everyone kind of flirts at work, right?
Which makes me to believe that NK was the aggressor and went after him because he was not the one to aggress. He was the one that was the receiver.
Because the relationship between men and women is different. So if you're working with a girl at work, it's just kind of natural to flirt.
I wish I was out in the field more instead of at the office. Those demo, but
yeah. You kind of see it in your eyes. That's kind of where the path started, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, if I was like, because when I went from like a rover to a field coordinator.
So there it was. There he was saying, I wish, you know, I had been out in the field more. Coder says, I can see it in your eyes. Now, Chris is going to talk about how he got, I don't know if it was a promotion or it was like a change in responsibility at work. He's going to talk about this, how when he went from a field coordinator or a rotor to a field coordinator, how, you know, that kind of changed where he would be on a normal day in work.
Like, I would spend more time in the morning time in the office trying to get everything like situated where we're going to go and everything like that. And, you know, if I was a rotor, I'd be more out in the field and instead of like coming to the office like for more than an hour.
Right.
And just gave me more time to run into her, pretty much.
Yeah. What did she know about you? Did she know you were married?
Yeah, so there it was. He was saying, you know, now that he was if he had been stayed a rotor, he would have been out in the field more. He wouldn't have been running into Nikki or the mistress. And the fact that he became like a field coordinator, he was running into her more, and he regrets that.
First.
She did once I showed her the pictures on the phone.
She did.
You know, the home screen pictures and everything.
So was your wife in that picture, or was it just your girls?
It was just my girls right there, but my wife was the lock screen.
Oh.
So she knew I was married with my kids.
Oh!
Yeah, she knew I was married and had kids.
Are you aware that she said she didn't know you were married?
Tammy sounds, in my opinion, her voice sounds annoyed. She's like, were you aware she said she didn't know you had kids? Kind of like,
Tammy knows that that NK is full of crap.
we know this girl is lying. Like, she did know. And then I find this interesting. Chris is going to talk about his sister, Jamie. So obviously he has spoken to Jamie about the
this.
mistress, because here he's going to say, you know, something my sister told me, like maybe she's trying to, you know, save face or something like that. So yeah, obviously him and Jamie have spoken about the mistress as well since he's been in prison.
What do you think about that?
Figure it was like just trying to save face, trying to, you know, just trying to. Something my sister said, it was like just trying to keep things together.
Yeah.
Just trying. She phrased it a different way, but just kind of like just like ground control, just trying to control everything that's going on around her. Because I'm sure she got bombarded by all kinds of different sides from the media and everything. So. And
Have you talked to her at all? No.
No. I'm hoping she hasn't, like, you know, written me in a different alias or something. No, I'm not talking to her that way.
Oh.
And are you not allowed to talk to her?
I would hope that.
Okay. No one's told you that?
I found that interesting. Like they say, are you
Allowed to talk to her?
not allowed to talk to her? And Chris says, I would hope not.
No, I mean, I would expect, like, I thought, like, in Colorado it said, like, on a DOC list, if you're on, like, a victim list, you can't call anybody.
Oh, right.
But here, I'm not sure if that's the same, but I just talked to my sister, my parents, some friends of my parents.
Do you wish you could talk to her?
Maybe once, just to
get some closure?
Just to say, like, hey, you know, just once.
Yeah.
Just to say, hey, like, I'm sorry this all happened. I'm sorry. I'm not sure, like, what happened, like, afterwards, like, what you went through, like, if you had, like, counseling, if you're, like, you know, different state, if you had to leave everything behind. I just wanted to let you know I'm sorry, and that's not something I ever saw in my life happening or happening to somebody else either.
Would you be alright if we told her that?
That's fine.
Do you want us to? Do you want us not to?
And if she would want to even talk to you guys, and I'm not sure if someone comes up.
She won't.
I'm sure she'd answer your phone call more than an attorney phone call that she didn't want to call. Answer. Yeah.
Oh, so your attorney tried to call her and she wouldn't answer?
Yeah. Yeah, because I remember her phone number, but after that they figured out, I guess, where she lived. They left a call, business card there. And she just, pretty much after like the 5th attempt, she said, stop coming around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure she's getting bombarded like everyone else, so.
She did it to herself.
Hopefully it's calmed down since, but.
Nope, we're almost 7 years in.
But I'm sure, like, I just hope she can, like, I'm not, there's like normalcy for her, not since she's on the outside, but I'm hoping it can get that way at some point. I'm not sure if she had to leave Colorado or not, but I'm sure, like, that would have been hard if she did.
Mm-hmm.
I know that narco was her dream job, so that's the one thing I always, like, asked my attorneys is, like, did she have to leave? Like, did she have to do anything at work?
Who cares?
See, so like his whole family is dead, and he's worried about if his mistress lost her dream job. You know, like, come
That's
on.
sick.
That was one thing since she always.
Well, we're going to leave it there for part 1. If you guys want part 2, comment it down below. Hashtag part 2. Let me know your things that you caught and you want to put your opinion on it. Definitely put it in the comments. Don't forget to timestamp it. If you guys watched it and you want to subscribe, I would surely love it and appreciate it. And don't forget to go over to CDT. She definitely does her homework. She knows what she's talking about. And definitely want to give her love and so forth. So, again, I thank you guys for being here. Please take care, be safe, and as always, keep nerding on, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.